Welcome to this explainer. Today we are unpacking India's incredibly ambitious leap from being a technology importer to becoming a true global powerhouse in next-generation displays and microchips. We're talking about a massive industrial shift happening right now, and trust me, it's going to fundamentally change the screens you stare at and the tech that runs your entire world.
So, let's kick things off with a question about the devices we literally have glued to our hands all day. If you've kept the same smartphone for a few years, you've probably been haunted by those phantom icons permanently ghosted into the background of your screen. Right? It's called burn-in, and it's a known flaw in current display technology. But what if a brand new type of screen could eliminate that completely? And, more importantly, what if the manufacturing revolution making it happen was being spearheaded right in India?
Well, here is our roadmap for today. Number 1. The display technology leap. 2. We'll go inside India's new silicon factories. 3. We'll break down gallium nitride and fabrication. 4. Building the broader semiconductor ecosystem. And 5. The gadgets of the future. Section 1. The display technology leap. Moving beyond the limits of aging LCDs. Let's start with the screens themselves and why the current global standard is well overdue for an upgrade. Okay, so right now the market is completely flooded with older LCDs and OLEDs. This is a maturing industry largely dominated by established Asian electronics hubs. But here's the thing. LCDs, they're basically like a window with a drawn shade and a bright light behind it. Light is always leaking through, so you never get a true deep black, and they just guzzle electricity. Now OLEDs tried to fix this by using self-illuminating pixels, but they use organic materials that actually degrade over time, which gives us that annoying burn-in we just talked about. Enter the new frontier, micro-LED. Instead of organic stuff, micro-LED uses inorganic, self-illuminating pixels. Think of them as thousands of incredibly efficient, tiny flashlights. They are 10 times brighter than OLEDs, meaning you can actually read your screen perfectly in bright sunlight. They have a massive 100,000-hour lifespan, and they use a third of the electricity of LCDs. By aiming straight for micro-LEDs, India isn't just playing catch-up, they're attempting to completely leapfrog the established global players. Section 2. Inside India's silicon factories, the catalyst in Gujarat. To actually capture this new micro-LED frontier, the Indian government just made a remarkably bold move. The Union Cabinet recently approved a staggering 3,936 crore rupee investment. That's a massive influx of capital specifically channeled into 2 brand new semiconductor manufacturing facilities located in Gujarat. This basically wraps up the initial phase of the government's highly anticipated India Semiconductor Mission. So let's break down who is actually driving this shift. First up, Crystal Matrix Limited. They're setting up an integrated fabrication facility in Dholera. This is going to be India's very first commercial micro-LED display manufacturing unit. We're talking about the capacity to produce 72,000 square meters of display panels every single year. Meanwhile, over in Surat, Suchi Semicon is building an OSAT facility. That stands for Outsourced Semiconductor Assembly and Test. This is the crucial back-end step where chips are actually packaged and tested for the real world. They're going to be churning out over 1 billion discrete semiconductor chips annually. 1 billion! Together, these 2 plants alone are projected to generate around 2,230 highly skilled jobs, laying down an incredibly strong foundation for domestic manufacturing. Section 3. Gallium Nitride and fabrication, the science behind the screens. To really grasp how big of a leap this is, we have to look at the cutting-edge material powering that Crystal Matrix facility. We throw the word silicon around constantly in tech, but the future? It actually belongs to a compound called gallium nitride, or GaN. GaN is an advanced semiconductor material that is just on another level. Because of its unique physical properties, it can handle significantly higher voltages, tolerate way more heat, and operate at much faster switching speeds than traditional silicon. In fact, it's so efficient that it wastes almost zero energy as heat. This robust material is literally the secret sauce that makes the incredible brightness and efficiency of micro-LEDs possible. But it doesn't stop at screens. GaN is absolutely critical for things like 5G telecom towers, fast-charging EV stations, and even advanced defense radars. So how do they actually build these things? It's a precise step-by-step process. Step 1 is epitaxial growth. I know, fancy word, but just imagine building a microscopic skyscraper layer by perfect crystal layer onto a 6-inch silicon wafer foundation. Crystal Matrix will offer these specific GaN foundry services. Step 2 is chip fabrication. This is where those GaN wafers are intricately structured into those tiny self-illuminating pixels we talked about. Finally, step 3 is ATMP assembly, which stands for assembly, testing, marking, and packaging. This is where the complex chips are carefully packaged and assembled into modular micro-LED display tiles that can be scaled up to fit almost any size you need.
Section 4. Building the semiconductor ecosystem, beyond individual factories. Now, it's crucial to understand that these factories don't just operate in a vacuum. Clustering them in Gujarat is a highly strategic move to build a robust domestic supply chain.
The evolution here is moving fast. ISM 1.0 launched back in 2022. With these 2 new Gujarat projects, we've now hit 12 total approved facilities. That represents a massive cumulative investment of roughly 1.64 lakh crore rupees, and 2 of those previously approved facilities have already started commercial shipments. Building on that foundational base, the government is getting ready to roll out ISM 2.0, with an expected outlay of over another 1 lakh crore rupees. This whole master plan is aimed at a massive target, growing India's domestic semiconductor market to an astounding $100 billion by 2030.
But look, ambition on this scale comes with some intense hurdles. Building fabrication plants requires immense capital, and maybe even more critically, it needs a highly specialized workforce. Current projections show India is soon going to need over 200,000 specialists. So to fix this looming labor shortage, the government isn't just funding brick-and-mortar factories. They are actively supporting a chip design ecosystem deeply connected across 315 academic institutions, and they're backing 104 domestic tech startups. It's all about training an entirely new generation of skilled professionals and creating a sustainable talent pipeline for these investments.
Section 5. Gadgets of the future. How this impacts your daily life. We've talked factories and billion-dollar investments, but what does this shift from tech importer to global manufacturing innovator actually mean for you, the everyday consumer?
Well, right now, micro-LED tech is super expensive, which mostly limits it to ultra-premium devices. But the strategy here mirrors a recent historical success. Think about the solar energy boom. A decade ago, solar power cost something like 10 to 12 rupees per unit. Today, because production scaled up massively, those costs absolutely plummeted. By establishing large-scale domestic manufacturing right now, the expectation is that micro-LED costs are going to follow that exact same downward trajectory, making next-gen tech totally affordable for all of us.
And as those prices drop, you are going to see these crystal clear, incredibly bright, energy-efficient screens everywhere. The GaN wafers produced at the Crystal Matrix plant are going to power the micro-displays inside extended reality, or XR glasses. They're going to give you ultra-bright smartwatches that you can easily read while out on a run in the glaring afternoon sun. You'll see them in massive commercial TVs and beautifully integrated into the high-contrast dashboard displays of your next car. And the impact goes way beyond just screens. Remember the Suchi Semicon facility over in Surat? The over 1 billion chips they package and test every single year are going to flow straight into domestic industries. We're talking critical, discrete semiconductors and power electronics for automotive manufacturing, industrial automation, and everyday consumer electronics. This massive output actively reduces India's reliance on foreign imports and really insulates the national supply chain from global geopolitical volatility. So, we've seen how billions in strategic investments, cutting-edge gallium nitride materials, and a massive push for domestic skill development are all converging right now. As India transforms its role in the global supply chain and strengthens its national self-reliance, the real question is this: how will this domestic chip revolution reshape the quality, capability, and price of the devices you rely on tomorrow? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep an eye on your screens because they're about to get a whole lot brighter.